Hello, old friends. Another week has gone by. The first week of the year, and I'm back at work. I enjoy the work that I'm doing. It does get a bit samey, like anything else that you can do, and there are worse jobs out there, so I'm happy to continue with the current position that I have. Things will change, that's inevitable, but I'll continue plugging away with what I've got. But my work, my career, as you might want to call it, my job, it's there really to support the rest of my life. I don't define myself by the work I do. Well, no, that's not really true, is it? Because I do actually draw some definition of who I am and what I am by the type of work that I perform. I guess what I'm trying to say is the work that I do is not the center of my life. There are other things that are the center of my life, and that would be the things I do for leisure and fun. In particular, I really enjoy the activity of role playing, playing tabletop role playing games. That is the activity that I enjoy the most, and we were doing that this week. Two games were played this week. One was a Pathfinder game being run by a GM who's a friend of mine, who's a really good GM, and I think we're lucky to have a good GM for our group, and I'm glad that this game that has been going now for a few years is continuing on. And also a game that I was a GM on, which was the Star Wars game. I'll come back to that a little bit later. Just to give you a few other updates, though, I'm still managing to find time to do my walks. So I do my walk up and down. I like to call it a mountain. It's a big hill, but let's call it a mountain because it's much more exciting to do that. So I walk up to up the side of this mountain, and I look out on the city, and I look at the view, and I cross the water and stuff like that. It is really quite good. The only time I really get to have these walks is late at night after I've sort of like had dinner and finished the chores for the night, and then I head out when the air is much cooler and the sun's starting to go down. It's great this time of year because you've got a little bit of time, maybe an hour and a half at max, where you've still got light in the sky, so you can go up the back paths and check out, you know, nature when it's quiet. And plus, the other thing that's good about that time of the evening is that I seem to be the only one that wants to walk at that time of the day. So I really get the paths to myself, which is great because I don't like sharing the walks with other people. It's I just like being by myself in those situations, so I can listen to the music, or sometimes I just take the headphones out of my head and just listen to the sounds of my footsteps on the ground and the trees and the wind and the distant city, because that's an ever present sound that won't ever go away. And I like it. I like it. I just feel so much more relaxed when I'm out there in the forest. I guess you could say it's not much of a forest, but it's a bit of a forest, so it's really quite enjoyable. It's doing me a lot of good too, because I noticed when I was walking home from work, I walk to and from work, and so that's 30 minutes to work, 30 minutes from work, and then another hour is walking at the end of the day. So that's maybe 2 hours of walking, and maybe a little bit of light walking at lunchtime as well. So you could say maybe 2 hours 15, 2 hours 30 minutes walking. That's good as far as I'm concerned. That's enough to actually get those health benefits going. And after only doing it for a week, I find that I'm actually finding it a lot easier to walk home. I was halfway up a hill on my walk home from work, and I was sitting there thinking, geez, this is a lot easier than what it used to be. And I thought, damn it, exercise works. Oh, no. The bad news is I'm not losing any weight or anything like that, and that's because I just like food too much. Exercise will help get you fit, but if you want to lose weight, you've got to reduce the amount of calories that you're putting into your body. That's the bare facts. I've been down this path before. I did actually manage to lose a lot of weight in the past, 10 kilos over time. It does take time. You can lose about half a kilo a week, and if you want to lose 10 kilos, that's 20 weeks. It can work. I've put all those kilos back on since I lost them last time, and maybe I'll get back to trying to lose that weight again. But first, what I have to do is overcome my desire to eat all the time. and that's for me. It's really hard. Hopefully, I'll sort that one out, but that's a task for the future, and I'm just hoping to fill myself up with lots of other tasks to distract me along the way. And one of those tasks, of course, is doing these video logs. I'm setting up to do the ongoing video log on the ongoing video series on traveler technology. That's had some progress made this week as well. I've gotten my eldest son involved, and we're getting a bit serious about it. He's now working on some drawings for the avatar that I wish to use as the character who's going to be explaining things, because I don't want to have my face explaining these things. I want to sort of like do it without any personal interaction in that way. Just I'll use my voice, of course, but I just want to see how much I can get away with animating. I suppose that means I should learn how to animate. There are courses that are available online that you can do, but I thought I'd just do it the hard, sloppy, messy way and see what I can do myself and see how that works out. And when I say animate, it's not going to be animated that well. Don't look for anything that's going to be any more than maybe a figure that moves its arm once or twice in the course of the entire video. So yeah, but that's for the future. I've pretty much settled on the first topic, and that's of course going to be talking about the jump drive in the Traveller universe, which is really the core of the Traveller universe. That is the basis of interstellar travel, and that is the core of the Traveller universe. The other thing I'll be bringing up along the way will be anti-gravity, or gravitic gravity thrusters, all those things, and we will need to sort out when I pick that up as well. I've started writing the first script, but there's a lot of things that need to come together before we actually get the first episode out. So I'd say maybe I've got a few weeks more to go before there's any evidence going on of something being ready to be published. But we'll see how that goes. Anyway, let's get back to the gaming I've done this week, because that's the thing that I've found the most fun. As I said, we played Pathfinder. I play a paladin, lawful good, and I love playing that character. It's a lot of fun, and I love the group I'm playing in as well. They're a lot of fun too. It makes all the difference. If you're in a good group, you're going to have fun. It's going to be enjoyable. It's going to be relaxing and a way of blowing off steam. And it's great. And when you've got a good GM too, that makes the difference. Okay, and so the next night, of course, I was the GM, so I had my chance in the hot seat. And I was running a Star Wars game, Star Wars by Fantasy Flight Games. So that's something that I sort of like have fallen into. It's not something I would have. I've played it before, but one of my friends was asking about the game, and I said, "Oh yeah, I've played it." And they were asking, "What's it like and stuff?" And so I kind of volunteered to run a game, and it's sort of like just snowballed from there. We've got a bit of a campaign going, and I'm really enjoying this campaign. And I'm just enjoying watching how everybody else is playing with it as well. So we're still playing it. They haven't actually abandoned it yet. So that's a good sign. As a GM, if your players haven't said, "Yeah, let's stop," that kind of tells you that they're still invested in it. What's my style as a GM? I am what you would call an improv GM. So I don't do much in the way of preparation before we go into a game. I would put down a few dot points. I have an idea for what the entire campaign is going to go. I'll just say now, this particular campaign, I sort of know what's going on in the start. I have a few things that I want to get to in the middle, but I haven't quite worked out what's going on at the end yet. So I can't do too much in the way of foreshadowing because I haven't got what I would call the last few scenes sorted. So that's hopefully something that will come over time. Some sort of logical endpoint for where the campaign goes. Why do I say that you need a logical endpoint? Because otherwise you can find that you get yourself into a camp, especially as an improv GM, you get yourself into a campaign that will just never end. There's no particular point where you'd say, well, you've done what you need to do in this campaign. That can be a problem, and you'll see it as the campaign goes on. People will be having fun as it goes, but eventually they're going to start saying, "What are we doing? Why are we here? What's the purpose of all this?" And it can fall apart from that point onwards. Oh, look at that! I got into the philosophy of being a GM. Got a few more ideas about that, but that's really just from my point of view. Now, there's lots of other points of view out there, and I think if you started searching the net, you'd see all these points of view. I've actually started some research of my own ages ago to see what I could do to make myself a better GM, but the problem I found was that it all comes down to the group of people you play with, what sort of style your players have, and so you can't use some of the ideas that are out there because, or I think I can't use some of the ideas that are out there. Not you, me. I'm talking to myself. Sorry, when I said the you, I was actually meaning me. It's a thing I do. Don't worry. I'm always doing that. I can't use some of those styles that other people use because my group are not really suited to that sort of play style. You can experiment it and see if it works, but some of these people I have been with for so long now, I pretty much know how it's going to go down. So a lot of it is go with what you know. Don't try and get too far out of the box, otherwise you will lose them. So like I've got a group, one group I play with, that if I dare to change the rules, I get lots of shit for it. So sadly, I do like to play with the latest and greatest version of Traveller. Not all the time, but most of the time, and so they're always complaining about how I just keep changing the versions on them, and they, after they've learned something, they now have to relearn all these other stuff. Oh well, that's just the way I do it. I'm really sorry, guys. We'll stick with this version for a while. I promise, for a while. I don't think there's a new version coming out anytime soon, so we should be good. Okay. It's all good. Right, so I think that's probably long enough for this video because I don't want to whiffle on too much. I can whiffle on, I know. What else should I cover off? I think that's probably it. I'll just check my notes here. Yeah, I was going to go into some of the things I like doing when I set up a game and some of the types of scenes and some of the challenges I like to give players, but I think I might leave that for another time. Let's just sign off at this point here. It's good enough, and that was a strange noise. I won't worry about that, and I'll see you next time.